who we are today does not define who we could be tomorrow. So don't sacrifice who you could be tomorrow for who you are today. As human beings, like we are constantly changing, we are constantly transforming. What you did last month, last year, like may revolt you just looking at it today. Like, I can't believe I did that. So as a human, we are constantly changing. Even like when we know it, and sometimes we don't know, we just come across it. Like we are constantly changing, we are constantly growing. There's a picture of my wife. She saw herself like 6 months ago in a different dress, and she's like she couldn't believe she was dressed like that. She's like within 6 months she has grown so much. Who she was 6 months ago, she's someone totally different. So you should allow yourself to grow, allow yourself to change, be open to suggestions, but reach your own conclusion. Let the conclusion you have reached be based on your own ideas. Let them be based on who you want to be, who you want to become. You know, many things that keeps us who we are habits, people, the way we think, the people we associate with, what we spend our time doing. And sometimes we could easily grow if we could take the time to ask ourselves, like, everything I've been doing up to date, are they contributing to where I want to go, who I want to be, my destination? If we could ask ourselves this question, then I think it's a lot easier for us to eliminate those things that are not helping us, that are not working in our favors. And I believe these are the questions we need to keep asking ourselves. Who am I? What do I want to be? Who do I want to be like? And this doesn't mean you should compare yourself with anyone. Just compare yourself with yourself yesterday, last month. Just like my wife saw her picture 6 months ago, she could compare herself now to who she was 6 months ago. And that's how you grow, comparing yourself, because you're not in competition with anyone, but with yourself. There's a lot of circumstances in other people's life that you don't see, and you're trying to compare yourself to them. You don't know what's happening on the background, outside the social media, outside the public view. That's why you should only compare yourself to yourself, because you are the competition. You are the competition to yourself. A lot of people will tell you should be content with who you are, where you are. They give you a lot of reason. Other people are not where you are. Why are you trying to change? Why are you trying to do too much? But those people, they're not actually against you, but they think they are standing for you. They're trying to help you. Why? Because they're trying to prevent you from coming face to face with failures. And a lot of us stop doing a lot of things, not because we can't do it, not because of the process. Just think about it. Most time, it's not the process of doing something that stops you from doing. It's actually the result, the expectation, what you assume you would get at the end of this thing that stops you from taking actions. For instance, like you're gonna ask a girl out, you're like, oh wow, she might say no. So you've reached that conclusion before you actually take a step. And therefore, because you figured out the result is going to be negative, that stops you from taking the action. So going up to ask her to speak to her, the action doesn't take anything from you, but the anticipated result stops you from taking action. And that's what happens to a lot of us in life. We predict something is not going to go in our favor. Because we have the fear of losing, we stop ourselves from taking the step. We stop ourselves from trying. So there's always that saying, you should be content with yourself, who you are. Not that you shouldn't be content with yourself. You should be happy with who you are, but you should be more excited with where you're going or who you're trying to become. And that can only happen when you have plans in place. So how can you be content with yourself if the person who you are right now is not where you want to be? So you should still be happy, but the only reason you should be happy with where you are is knowing that you're working your way towards becoming a better you. You are in the process. People say happiness is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. And what does that mean? It just basically means happiness is constant improvement, working on something, getting better every day. It's actually not getting a definite end, seeing the result, but knowing you are on your way. So if you always look at it that way, like if you see the result as in progress rather than the destination, you would take more steps, you would take more action. You wouldn't see failure as an end goal, as a nail to the coffin. I'm not saying you should or you should just jump off the cliff because you're not happy with who you are. No, but you shouldn't be content either. You shouldn't be content either if you're looking to grow, if you're looking to get better, if you're looking to go from one place to another place, if you're looking to become someone you inspire to be. You shouldn't be content. There is something about sacrificing your today for who you want to be tomorrow. That is progression in life. That is growth. For you to continuously realizing the new you. Even if it's changing one habit every 2-3 months, that is something that's better than not. That is winning. And people, what is faith? Faith is determination and consistency. You wouldn't keep doing something if you don't have faith in it, if you don't believe in it. So faith comes from the consistently applying something, progression. And if you look at this, the reason you are told by many people to be content with yourself is just because of the fear of realization. Because they have this fear for you. They don't want you to fail. They don't want you to come face to face with failure. Because for you to transform from who you are to who you need to be, there need to be some activities, some positive activities. And those activities will bring change. And change may be favorable or it may not be favorable. Because you could have taken some steps to become the better you. And at the end of that step, instead of feeling good, you end up feeling bad. You've made some changes to improve, now you're feeling bad. So that stops a lot of us from taking that step. The step of knowing that we could become good or bad. It could work for us or against us. So people are always protecting your failures, and we ourselves, we're always protecting our failures by not taking steps. What if? And you know what? The what if is always negative. But what if you win? What if you become positive? What if you take the step and you become the best you can be? What if you fail the first time, but the second time or the third time, but then you actually succeed? It's like telling someone not to take practice shots. Like no one actually gets better without taking practice shots. So will you count those practice shots as failures? No. Practice shots are just uncelebrated shots. Only when you hit your target you get celebrated. But those practice shots, they're not actually failures, they're just uncelebrated shots. Those are things you keep doing till you get better, little by little, step by steps. Like this, there's a saying that no human is even close to who they could become. That we have more capacity than we use. I think it's estimated to be around 10%. That no human actually have gotten close to their capacity. We just use 10% of what we could be. But then you're told to be very happy, comfortable, content with just being who you are now. And why are we told this? The fear of failing. The fear of failing. No one wants to fail. You said this to yourself. You delete yourself. Because why? If you come face to face with failure, it might put you in a bad place. You might be unhappy. You might have a downtime. You might become depressed. You might stop trying. You might never try again. But what if you overlook the end result and just try? Just for the sake of knowing that, okay, you would try. What about if we can forgo the result first and just focus on the discipline of trying, the discipline of taking action, the discipline of progression, the discipline of knowing you're doing something? What if we could focus on that? What if that's the goal of being active, the goal of learning to speak, to talk, to write, to read? What if that is just the goal to get better without the destination in place, just getting better? There's a lot of what if, but you would never know if you don't try.